Hey everyone, it's Richard Payne from Halifax Homes and Lifestyles at eXp Realty. Right here in, I would suggest, the hottest market probably in the whole of Canada. Some would disagree with me, but we are here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and we're going to give you all of the details about what happened in March so that you can stay ahead of the market. Hey everyone, it's Richard and stats time. I'm the accountant, so clearly I am going to want to talk about stats. But it can't be said enough that right now, here in Halifax, this is probably, I would say, the most important buyer education that I am going to give you. Simple as that. Because when I've been following, and you've been following hopefully all of the videos, if you've not, then hit the little subscribe button down there so that you can stay in touch with everything we're doing all of the time. Because if you go back just even say 7 months ago and actually look at the stats that were there then, and then you watch this video and you hit the like button as well, because that's another good thing for us, you will see the difference, and it's a little bit mind-blowing. I'm looking at the numbers here in front of me, and I hope you're all sitting down, because the average sale price for the month of March in 2021 was $494,796. That is, looking at the number, it's plus 6% on last month, which was February, which again was an all-time high number that we've ever hit here in Halifax. And looking at March 2020, and yes, COVID kind of hit us in March 2020, but we're 32% up on that number last year as well. So from a buyer education point of view, you look at the numbers now and go, yeah, what used to be a $350,000 to maybe a $400,000 average market, we're now only $6,000 short of $500,000 on average in the prices. Now, admittedly, there are some factors in here, but here's one of the other key things I want to go through is we started tracking how much over asking price in a dollar point of view is actually being done. This month, March, it was $39,000 over asking price. So when we look at some of the other markets, and we'll get into those as well, that gives us 109% from list price to sale price. This time last year, 99.5%. So that tells you what's going on. Now let's get into the rest of the details. So on average, percentage-wise, we were 8.6% over asking price. We had 30 days on market for the properties that sold. So that's just 1 month, and basically all the houses that sold went conditional and went sold within 30 days, which is brilliant. Halifax has never seen that number either. So number of houses sold were 655, which is up 44% on February. 44%. So we basically more or less doubled the amount of houses that we sold in March compared to February. And it's up 34% on March last year. We only have 359 homes active, which is a lot better than February, which I think was down at 280 or something. But it still only gives us half a month of inventory. Go back to March last year, that number was 2.4 months. So 2.4 months was brilliant anyway. Now we're down to half a month. So when you start looking at some of the top markets in here, when we look at number one market, we've actually got Timberley, St. Margaret's Bay, Upper Tantallon. 85 homes sold, 62 days on average, $492,000 average price. Now, I did look a little bit into this because that area in particular over the last 5 months has really started coming to be in the top 3 constantly. So I had a look at that, and we've actually got 37 out of those 85 homes were brand new builds, coming primarily from Brunello Estates, which is the new kind of golfing community that took a long time to kind of get off the ground, but it's off the ground now, no doubt about that. And then also we have a little almost mobile home, mini home area. It's kind of the wrong words to use about it, but Foxwood Village is the area there that's starting to really gain a lot of traction, because they're giving you the prefab homes, brand new, choose your style, and it's on almost what they call a Bareland condo. So The septic basically is a community big septic area. You all get your own drilled wells, you won't get your own septic tanks, but the field itself is a community shared one. So there is a little bit of like a homeowners association fee. But when you look at those ones from a retirement point of view, like that's a brilliant idea. So Foxwood Village, maybe look that one up. Second market is Bedford. 60 houses sold on there. Average price there, $646,000. Like, it's getting up there. 21 of those were brand new builds, funnily enough, in parts of Bedford West, like the hottest neighborhood where everybody wants to look. And obviously they're in like phase 5, phase 6, something like that, into Brookline Estates. And those ones, 21 new homes in that area were sold. That gives you a third. So a third of all the homes in Bedford were actually brand new builds. 21 homes active, which is basically not many homes at all. So that gives us a 0.4 of a month on that area. And then we're going to number 3, back into good old Sackville. But good old Sackville is not exactly the starter market anymore. Average price there, $379,000, 118% sale to list price. So if you wanted to get into that lower Sackville market, on average now you're paying $57,000 over asking price in lower Sackville, a starter market. Like of the top 3, those guys are the ones that you're gonna have to pay the majority for. So like when you kind of look at all these numbers, it gives you that feeling that, yeah, Halifax is absolutely on fire at the moment, and it's tough for buyers. Just had a conversation this morning. Buyers that are moving here from Ottawa, we looked at a $350,000 house. It was actually in Woodlawn, Portland Estates area, and I said to them, well, looking at the month, $72,000 is the average sale to list price over asking price that you're going to have to pay. So if you look at that $350,000 property, realistically, unless you're prepared to pay $425,000, you might not get it. So it's those kind of conversations, and we've got all the stats here on all the markets, but like there isn't one particular market that is not over asking price by like a good chunk of money. Like I'm looking down here, 11,000 is the cheapest one over asking price. And then I did also have a quick number as well, because of all the houses that have sold, I looked at everything that's went for $100,000 or more over asking price. 12% of houses that were sold in March actually went for $100,000 or more over asking price. And the one that was top was actually $252,600 over asking price. Listed at $480,000, sold at $732,000, and that was a 1,400 square foot bungalow, which was on Hubley Mill Lake. So you kind of look at that and go like, you know, the market is just absolutely steaming along at a pretty fast rate of knots. So realistically, you've got to understand these numbers, because you can't come into the Halifax market right now and kind of expect that like, great, I'm going to get like a bit of a deal, or I'm going to get just like $10,000, $15,000 over asking price. I'm not saying those properties don't exist. It's just when you look on average at the stats, unless you're prepared to go $40,000 over asking price, kind of as a bare minimum, and you can see that, you know, with like 12% of the houses actually going for over $100,000 over asking, you've really got to prepare yourself for this market. Think of the different strategies, you know, get really familiar with the neighborhood and everything about that particular area, because when properties come up now, they are selling quick. You know, we're getting the bully offers that are coming through. We recently had a stat actually, and an email come out from our association here, our board, basically saying that, you know, if you're going to accept preemptive offers, you need to decide that in advance with the sellers, or you need to decide not to do that with the sellers. It's kind of your choice. So those are the stats. Like it's a bit mad, it's a little bit crazy, but that's the market that we're in right now. So like, you've just got to make sure you're educated. Now, if you have any questions, or you want to give a quick call to me and find out any of the other details that we've got on here, then by all means, details are like coming up below. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, because there's tons of information and you just got to be really well educated. And this is not just buyers, this is sellers as well. So you've got to make sure that you know what's going on. So yeah, those are the stats for March 2021. Like, let's see what April brings us, because it's not slowing down, not at all.